Importation of used vehicles into the country have raised safety and pollution concern in some quarters. Thousands of second-hand vehicles are being regularly imported to Africa, leaving some environmental experts in Togo expressing their concerns. Used cars are deemed more affordable for many people on the African continent, thus its business is blooming in some parts of the country or continent. Of course, let's have more details of that in this report.
At the port of Lomé in Togo, thousands of cars are waiting for a second lease on life. After being driven on western roads for a number of years, they have now been transported to Africa. This morning, Samuel Gaba, a regular at the port's car parks, is once again wandering through the aisles, packed with imported used vehicles. An avid bargainer, he visits these areas almost every month in search of second-hand cars at attractive prices, which he then resells.
You know, these cars cost less than a new car. It's true that when you buy them, they are second-hand cars, so there are repairs to be made. But they are still more or less affordable, especially with today's high cost of living. We can't afford to buy a new car. It's too expensive, you understand.
Anen Boga is a car importer and has been in the business for several years. He personally supervises the vehicle purchase criteria before importing, and he makes sure he has all the necessary information on the vehicle, which is accessible via a dedicated platform.
We bring in the cars from Canada, Quebec to be precise, but every time we buy the cars through publications. They display the vehicles, the engine, the interior, the tires, and if there's a damaged part, you can see everything before you buy.
Every month, Anen and his company receive around 100 used cars from the West. These vehicles are prized for their low prices. The Toyota brand is particularly popular because of the easy availability of spare parts. Despite this commercial success, though, the importer faces a number of challenges.
On the import side, we bring in cars in containers, and sometimes when we open the container, there are broken windscreens or the roof of the car is caved in. We then repair them before putting them on display. In Togo, the cars that customers are most interested in are mainly Toyotas and Mazdas.
While these vehicles are affordable for young Africans, up to 80% of them are not roadworthy and do not meet the Euro 4 emission standard, according to a UN Environment Programme study. This means that they emit up to 90% more gases. Environmental experts say Africa has become a public dumping ground for Western countries.
We believe that these imported vehicles are not intended to do any good for Togo, but rather it is a strategy by European countries or the United States to set what they no longer want. People think that second-hand vehicles allow the poorest people to drive, but in reality, as part of their commercial policy, they are dumping vehicles that they no longer need. The law should maintain control over the age of vehicles. If a vehicle has already been used for 7 years outside Togo, there is no point in importing it.
However, despite these issues, the second-hand car market remains buoyant in